Hey man, we might be the last ones getting married for real. So I went back home the other day and I was talking to one of my young boys, and keep in mind, he like 16. He like, yeah, bruh, I done gave up on that shit a long time ago. I'm like, gave up on what? He talking about relationships, trying to get married, all of that. He told me his plan was to get a really, really fine baby mama so he could just hit her forever. He said, cause you know, you can always hit your baby mama. And I said, yeah. And I was like, he young, he gonna grow out of that. But I was like, let me hear him out. Basically what he said, and he had a very good point. He was like, he feel like he ain't turned right now. So he was like, if he get a girl and he locked in, she just gonna cheat on him with the right dude, which is turned. He was like, when he gets there, when he finally gets his money and figures himself out and all that, she's only gonna be around for that. That if he didn't even have all that shit, she wouldn't even look his way. I was like, damn, he ahead of the curve. But I tried to talk him out of it. I tried to persuade him. I was like, hey, look at me and my girl. I met her in college. I was in a dorm, eating at the calf, no car, walking to work. And she held it down. She was still fucking with me, and we came up together. And he was like, yeah, bro, you might have found a unicorn, but I don't want to take them chances. He said, if I want to play with those type of odds, I could just put in a 30-leg parlay.
I wouldn't say that men are afraid of it. I just think that men don't want the version that's been forced onto us. I think because of culture, social media, and idolizing the wrong examples of success, women have slowly but surely began equating marriage idealistically to mindsets that are more parasitic than they are purposeful. They're more fleeting than they are fulfilling. And they've begun to pray for husbands because they want a man and what he brings, right? They want the protection, the provision, the purpose in a woman's life, while not praying to become suitable wives that are gentle, unquarrelsome, accepting of accountability, submissive helpmates. Men today also see divorce rates at an all-time high, and they know they often end up on the losing end of that emotionally, spiritually, and financially. So when a man considers all of that and still chooses to be hopeful, right, and then goes out into the world and collides with the generation of women who are becoming increasingly independent and dogmatic in their beliefs, he naturally wonders, what's the point? Like, he wonders, why sign up for a life like that? So it's not fear of marriage. It's just that they don't want a version that only serves the woman, and the version that has a lot of women in a chokehold right now. Now, I know it sounds like I'm talking a lot about women right now, but I'm only expressing how I know men are feeling. Now, some women will try to argue, attack my character, or take shots, and that's part of the problem. No acceptance, only aggression. And you know, it comes down to this. You'll either say, we do love and cherish you. How can we change this narrative together? Or you'll simply attack me because you disagree.
We want men to be husbands. We want the rings and the things. But family, we cannot advocate for marriage without addressing the full picture, the elephant in the room. Women aren't bred to be wives today. Past generations have raised us up to pursue a career. Forget the man. He's an afterthought. Because when the man act up, you have an out, that degree that you can fall back on. And now, family, we have women who have been bred to be more of a husband than a wife. Let's keep it real. What is society teaching us? Look at the propaganda. Look at the social media. We can't continue to come at men for their lack of commitment, but not also state the obvious. There's a shortage of women worth making long-term or lifelong commitments to. We aren't training up wives. We're training up hypersexual, petty, money-hungry, cannot take any accountability, insecure, immature, women that can't even cover a pot, let alone...
And see, this is what I think is one of the key elements on why most men choose to be single and not indulge in marriage, let alone relationships, you know what I'm saying? Or relationships, let alone marriage. I think most men are in fear of dealing with women that has this ideology that they just don't need them. Once we get back to actually feeling like, okay, I need you, you need me, we need each other, then I think love will get a lot stronger. But everybody is only chasing independency, which there's nothing wrong with that. But once you come together, you have to kind of lose that mindset in a sense.
A man, women with the mentality that...
And I'm not saying lose your identity, but you kind of have to more so rely on your partner and your partner rely on you when you guys come together, because that's what it is. It's not you anymore by yourself. It's somebody else. So it's compromising and, you know, so on and so forth. You know, being able to step outside of what your norm is to cater to their needs and their wants And I think a lot of people can't get out of that selfish mentality. And it comes from being single so long, it only solely being you. Now it's a partner, so you have to adjust. And most people don't want to, or don't feel like they need to, or don't meet anybody that challenges them in that space.
Anything goes as long as I'm making $1 from it. Hyper independent, attention seeking, career obsessed, not nurturing, selfish, girlfriend at best women. We want men to lock things down. And I agree, men should. But we gotta give them something worth committing to. And our media isn't pushing that agenda. It's keeping us single. So family, ladies, stop buying the lies of culture. That's what's keeping us single.
Every time I talk to married men, they're trying to convince me not to get married. How is it that you have the woman of your dreams, but you convincing other men not to get married? Most men that's married don't want to be married, or they got married for the wrong reasons. They didn't get married because they genuinely wanted to. They got married because they just thought that was just the next steps that they were supposed to do. And then every time we have a conversation, they're trying to push me away from marriage.
That's like stepping into a bear trap and you see somebody, not even that. I'll not even use that analogy, but it's almost like being in a bear trap, convincing yourself to stay in a bear trap because it's gotten too far deep. You know what I mean? It's like, I guess it has you in a space where you can't move anymore. So now you just got comfortable in that space of not being able or not wanting to move. So now you're telling everybody else, you're trying to help them avoid it, but it's supposed to be this beautiful thing. But now you're just telling everybody, no, don't do it. But it's like, okay, so then why are you doing it? Why are you comfortable with being in a space that, is so bad? If that's what you're preaching to people, that's crazy.
And then they're surprised by my response because I'm heavy on I want to get married. I'm heavy on men being married. Only if these men's wives knew how they was talking about marriage behind their backs.
Yeah, no, facts. I don't get it. I mean, I think with like having kids and, people bank off of the history and all of that, and then the difficulty of getting out of a marriage. I think people are just like, whatever. Even dudes who step outside of their marriage, it's like they don't want to remove themselves from a situation. They just rather be sneaky and go behind their wife's back, do what they got to do, and then come back home to their woman.
Every time I talk to married men, they're trying to convince me not to get married.
You've never been married?
Never been married. No, I don't believe in that shit.
You ever thought about?
I think about marriage every day.
Every day?
Every day.
To a particular person?
Anybody. Like I said, I could probably marry her.
You've never been in love, TK?
I'm always in love.
TK, stop.
You know what I'm telling you, like right now.
TK, stop. You know what I'm asking you.
Yeah, no.
You've never been in love with a girl.
No. I would never allow myself to be vulnerable like that for someone. Because here's the thing about real life.
That's what
You in bed with your girl, you gonna give her your life, and the girl gave you your life. She looks at one wall, you look at the other wall. And one day that person wakes up and say, I don't want to be with you no more. And you have dedicated your motherfucking life. And as you said, it's a risk. That's not a risk I'm willing to gamble. Yeah. I can't most of y'all right now got your lives in somebody else's hand. Your life is in someone else's hands. Whether that person, whatever that person does, if they do success, you're happy. If that person dies, you fucked up, right? If a person cheats, you emotionally fucked up. I can never allow someone to have that type of control over me.
What I noticed not too long ago, no one stays in a relationship longer than a man who tells the woman that he's with he does not believe in marriage. I have known 4 couples in my lifetime where when I met them, they were 5 or 6 years into their relationship already. The man said, I don't want to do marriage. I don't believe in marriage. And the woman somehow convinces herself that is something she also wants. Until finally they hit the 10-year mark, she turns 30 or a major life change happens. Surprisingly enough, though, a baby isn't significant enough as a life change for these men to change their mind and these women to try to convince them. But what I find so interesting is that these men will say, I don't believe in marriage and never be single, like ever. Not only that, They will date women upwards of 7-10 years. Get into a new relationship once that one ends. And God forbid, if there's kids involved in his previous relationship, he's going to have the expectation of the next woman not only accepting the fact that he doesn't want to marry her, but also taking on the role as a stepmother. What does that sound like to you guys? Like, some men enjoy the privileges of a wife, but not the responsibility, not the accountability. And unfortunately, just how they say our time runs up at 30, they cannot carry on that way for the rest of their life, because it's gonna get to a point where if you're over 40, no woman's gonna let you play in her face like that.
I was having a really interesting conversation with someone when we were discussing just like pillars of society, and I said that one of the pillars of society was marriage. You know, church is another one, you know, education, etc. But I said that marriage is super important because to me, it signifies unity, it signifies growth, especially financially in a lot of different communities. And I noticed that, you know, like BLK people have some of the lowest marriage rates. And so I did point that out. And my whole thing was, I just felt like it's not necessarily that I think that, because we were in church when they were talking about marriage and just wishing marriage on everybody and things like that. And my whole thing was, I didn't think that it was pressure from the church to wish that all the women in the room, who, by the way, were very young, everyone was in their like 20s to their maybe mid 30s. But I don't think it's necessarily a negative thing for the church to want everyone to be married, because I feel like that's just like how, I'm not saying that you're guaranteed to have a good future, but that's like what you do as like a young person, and not as like a societal expectation, but also as like a religious expectation. Like, before the eyes of God, especially if you believe in God, I believe that you should aspire to marriage. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think that the outlook on it is very different, especially from like a, you know, foreign cultural standpoint. Like, a lot of people, a lot of women feel like, oh, everyone's pressuring me to get married. What if I don't? And I get that. But I feel like that number is so small compared to the women who actually do want to get married and who do want to have, you know, kids the right way. You know, not saying that out of marriage is the wrong way, but you get my point. But just people who just want to find their person and who want to build a life with someone through sickness and health and all this other stuff. Whole point here is, I'm saying that I don't think that churches promoting marriage is necessarily a negative thing. I don't.
Let me tell you this. If we're going by what the word say, the Lord speaks on, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. And he also receives favor from the Lord. And so when you're saying a man doesn't benefit from being married, what does the word say? From there, let's go a little bit deeper. People that have been married and that's healed from being divorced and all those things, they will tell you, there's nothing like having a wife that got your back. A wife will have you ready to run through a brick wall because she believes in you that much. You have to understand this. Please stop letting these people on social media get in your head and make you think that marriage.
That's something that a person can do in a relationship. This is the thing. If y'all are going to come on here with these talking points, give something that only marriage has its benefits in. Don't come on here and say something that you can gain from and you can have in a relationship. Oh, a supportive wife. Oh, somebody that's going to have your back. No, lay out the things that you can only get from being married. Tell me something significant that only you can gain and prosper from being in a marriage. Y'all come on here and say simple things that we can gain from just being single or just being in a relationship. And a relationship is, if you're not married, I guess you're labeled. No, you are labeled as single, you know, to the world, but y'all get what I'm saying. If y'all lay that out and it aligns and men feel like, okay, this is something that I can gain from, this is something that I know I can grow from just being with you and you only, then men probably would consider it more. But y'all don't give the details. Y'all don't go into depth and give hard facts on specifics when it comes to actually legally being married on papers.
Is just this show or whatever. I'm telling you, if you guys are aligned, God will make a way for you guys. And this coming from someone who's been married. Although I'm not in that season anymore, the type of favor God had on my life when I was married was unreal.
No.
And I'm
See, no, I don't want to hear this. No. So with all that being said, all the God stuff and all this and all of that, why'd you get a divorce? God didn't keep y'all together? And
saying this in a healed form. Please stop letting these people on social media make you think that marriage is not beneficial. It's beneficial for the man and the woman. And there's no more so the man or more so the woman. It's beneficial across the board because the type of favor that the Lord puts in your life is unmatched.
so what made you guys matched and then unmatched? Because you guys were a pair and now you're separate. I don't know. Listen, whatever you desire to have for your life and your life only, not for anybody else's, go for it. And if you meet somebody that aligns with that and y'all share common ideas, interests, and, you know, desires out of life, if that works for you, let it work for you and y'all journey. Y'all don't have to get married. You know what I'm saying? And if y'all want to get married, you don't have to stay in a relationship, but whatever works for y'all. If y'all want to do poly, if whatever you want to do what you want to do. That's what it boiled down to. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below. Very interesting, to say the least. And always remember, a slow grind is better than no grind. We are on our way climbing to 2,000 subscribers. I did this video a little different. I tried to not chime in on every video. Let me know if y'all like that or if y'all don't. Let me know if I wasn't talking enough. Some of y'all say I talk too much. So I was trying to let some of these videos breathe because I really could have smothered a lot of them. I really could have went in on a lot of these videos. But like I said, I try to take a step back and let the videos rock out. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about that. And love, peace, and prosperity. Hello or goodbye. Talk to me. Do not yell at me. We elevate until we hit our head. We ain't bleeding yet. Spread love, not hate. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Be great. Go on.